guys, it's Kat here, aka Cats and Camera, and today I'm going to be talking about all the series that I need to finish. So last month I kind of noticed that I was starting a bunch of series or reading books from a series that I'd already started, and it got me wondering how many am I in the middle of and need to actually finish. So I went through and there are quite a few. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this in duologies, then trilogies, then series. But also I'm only going to talk about books that I already own at least the next book of. So some books I've read the first book and I don't feel like I'm going to carry it on, or I'm also not going to go with books that are continuing, like A Song of Ice and Fire. The book's not out yet, of course I haven't read it, kind of thing. So to the best of my knowledge, these series have all finished or are finishing. And let's just get into the duologies. So first up I have My Mad Fat Diary by Rae Earl. This is a book that I read last month, no, this month. I read it this month. And there's another one, I think she only released another one after the TV series came out. But it's a diary, the true life diary of Rae Earl. I really love the TV show. I really loved this first book, so I'm looking forward to getting on to the next one. And I think there's only two. And next I have The World of Normal Boys, which I've read by K.M. Sonalene, and I have yet to read the second book, which is Robin and Ruby. This is a book that I really enjoyed. I don't think I've heard anyone ever talk about it, but I've heard that the second one's not as good, but obviously I want to make my own opinions up on this. I think they're the only two duologies that I need to finish. So next on to trilogies. First, this is another book that I've read recently. I read The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Person. I own the second one, but I need to carry it on. I did enjoy this. This is a book that I actually got because of BookTube, because I heard the premise and it sounded pretty interesting and I liked it, so I found both of these in a second-hand shop for like £1 each, so that's why I'm going to wait until I find the third one at £1. I'm not spending £7.99 on the third book. Next is another one that I've just recently read. So this is Darren Shan's first adult series that he brought out. I love his middle grade books. I read the first one, Procession of the Dead, and I liked it. It was very different to his other stuff, obviously, because it's an adult book, but I found it intriguing, and I have the other two books in this trilogy. I said it in my wrap up when I talked about this, but I'll say it again. This trilogy, this series, is probably the thing that I've had on my TBR the longest, because I literally bought these about 5 or 6 years ago and I never got around to reading them because I was like, what if I don't like his adult stuff? But I finally read the first one. Next I have the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. I've read the first one, which is The Knife of Never Letting Go. Really enjoyed it. I've got the next two to read. This is on my to read for 2018, so I'll definitely get this read this year. This is a middle grade series about a boy that can, well, not just a boy, just in general, everyone can hear each other's thoughts. Now be prepared for an onslaught of Rick Riordan, because as much as I love his books, he has so many out, so I haven't finished most of the series. So first I've got the Magnus Chase series. I've read these two. I know I literally just said at the beginning of this that I'm only going to talk about a series that I own the next book in. I don't actually own the third one yet, but it's definitely something that I'm going to get soon, so I put this on here. Next we have The Trials of Apollo. I've read the first one, The Hidden Oracle, and I own The Dark Prophecy, which I've not read yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And then I also have The Kane Chronicles. I've read the first one. I own both the other books. I'm not picking them up because they're massive. But this one I'm not looking forward to as much as the other ones. I didn't really like the first book, but I'm definitely going to finish the series, give it a go, hope that it gets better. Here's to hoping, because everything else Rick Riordan does is awesome. The next one, I think it's a trilogy, so I'm putting it with the trilogies, and that is Interview with a Vampire, or The Vampire Chronicles. I'm pretty sure it's these two and then Queen of the Damned, but I don't know if there's another one, potentially, so I'm putting it in trilogies. But I've read Interview with a Vampire. I've not read Vampire Lestat. This, of course, is a pretty classic vampire series. Everybody knows Interview with a Vampire. Everybody knows Anne Rice. Again, this one is another one that I'm pretty sure is a trilogy, but there might be more books, and that is The School of Good and Evil by Soman Shanani. Might have said that name wrong, I'm sorry. I read the first book, I own the second one, and I'm pretty sure it's the trilogy. This was okay. This is another middle grade one about a school for good and a school for evil and people going there. So last but not least, these are all these series that I have to complete. So first I've got Death Note by Sagami Oba and Takeshi Obata. I have up to volume 7, I've read up to volume 6, and there's 12 in here I believe. So I really enjoy this. Boy, you're gonna make this all wobbly. Are you quite finished? Stop rubbing that. Another manga, because why not? I have the Saga of Darren Shan manga version. So obviously this is by Darren Shan, but the art is by Takahiro Ari. I've read the first one of these. I've got up to 7, I think. I found these all in a charity shop for 99p each, so I had to pick them up because this is one of my favourite series. So I was like, the manga version of my favourite series, why not? So I've got pretty much all of these to read apart from the first one, but it will be cool to see how they do the story. Next up, this is one that I've just recently started as well. It's the Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. I've read the first one and I have the others to read. I'm pretty sure this is like a trilogy, but then with an extra one, hence why it's called Extras. But I've put it in the series, it's fine. This one took a little bit of getting into, but I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes after here. If anyone's read it, then they know what happened at the end of the first one, and I want to see what's going on. Yeah. Next I have the Lorien Legacies. So I've read the first one, I Am Number 4. I own the next 2. This is by Pittacus Law, and what's there, 5 or 6, 7 books in the series? I actually don't know, but I know there's more than 3, so I'll put it in the series. But I enjoyed the first one. I thought there was a lot more romance in it than I was expecting, but still definitely a series I'm carrying on, which is good because I own the next 2 books, so that would be pretty lame if I wasn't planning to carry it on. And last but not least, I have the Shadows of the Apse series by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've read the first and second book. There's 10 books in the series. I'm just holding 3 and 5 because that's the ones I randomly picked up. But yeah, this is a fantasy series that my sister lent me and it's really cool. There's just a lot of it, so I'm planning on reading at least the next 2 this year. I know that sounds crazy because there's 10 books. Hopefully I'll read more than 2, but we'll see. I'm getting there slowly. And also, even though I said that was last but not least, it's kind of not least because there's 2 more. This doesn't technically count as a series, but it kind of links to all the series, and that is the 2 short stories in like the Shadowhunter world. So I've got the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy and the Bane Chronicles. I've not read either of these, so I figure that counts as reading it to get the whole gist of the series. So yeah, tell me down below what series you have started but haven't finished yet, or if you've read any of these. What did you think of them? Did you enjoy them? Do you think it's definitely worth carrying them on? I'm not going to not carry them on, but hey, tell me whether you like them or not, maybe. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, please check out some of my others, and if you continue to enjoy them, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye.